The healing process, once you've gotten out of a relationship with a narcissistic person, is messy. And I say that out the gate because we tend to think, okay, the worst is over. I got out. But I'm going to equate this to something really dramatic, but it's a good representation. If you were caught in a situation, let's say a house fire, and you got burned, that's terrible and extremely painful. That's the trauma right there. But the healing process from a burn is also painful and also messy and takes time. It's pain that has purpose because you're healing, you're getting better, but it is hard. And that's because narcissistic abuse tends to go on for a long time. It tends to be covert, and it's very psychological and emotional based. So it's a big tangled web inside of you that you have to sort of untangle and understand. And it impacts us on every level. We can, if we're around a narcissistic person for a prolonged period of time, we probably have really severe anxiety, an exhausted nervous system. We might even have an autoimmune disorder, or a lot of physical health problems. So we have to treat everything in its own group. So I encourage the people that I work with to have a plan of how they're going to tend to their mental health, to their emotional health, to their physical health, oftentimes their financial health. Narcissists tend to not be very good with money, and we tend to see our finances take a hit when we've been in a relationship with a narcissistic person. So you want to create a game plan for how you're going to do it, but it's not a clean cut one. It's not like you take step 1, step 2, step 3, and it's just all nice and easy. There are bouts of confusion, there are bouts of doubt that happen. You're having to deconstruct the gaslighting. You're having to really tend to some really painful emotional wounds that can be tiring. But by having support, having a plan in place, it can help us feel a little bit more empowered, a little bit more in control, and it can help us keep our eye on the goal of what we're moving toward. We just don't want to leave any stone unturned. Some people are like, I just need to process through the emotions of what I went through, and I need to, work on my mental health, but they don't take into consideration the impact on their relationships. Did you lose people? Did you have to cut people out? On your social life, people that are recovering from narcissistic abuse tend to go through a bit of a hermit phase because people just feel really unsafe. And that can be very gender specific. If you are a victim of male narcissistic abuse, you might really struggle to feel safe with any and all males. So we want to get a really good picture of all the ways in which it impacted us and make a plan for how we're going to address and heal all of that. Once we have that plan, then we have to go with the flow a bit. The wounds that are the deepest, or it's kind of like triage. The wounds that are the deepest are the ones that we're going to need to tend to first, but we're not going to let the other ones out of our sight. In my experience, it typically takes, depending on how long you were with the person, the role they have in their life, but it typically takes 1 to 3 years to heal from narcissistic abuse. It often causes PTSD, and not just some of the symptoms, but full blown. So it's another reason why mental health treatment can be so helpful and important, as well as support and community with others, because we tend to feel really alone thinking it's just us. But knowing that it's going to be a journey, but a worthwhile one, and having a plan is the best advice I could give to people out the gate. And I have yet to work with anybody who says it wasn't worth it. Every single person I've ever worked with says this is the best thing I've ever done. So it's definitely a worthwhile endeavor.